Welcome into Philadelphia 76ers now. Chase Sr. hanging out here with you. And coming up, the Sixers have to make this trade. We're going to dive into and explain why the Sixers have to trade for their first-round pick back from the Oklahoma City Thunder. So continue to hang out here with us and get informed. First, trade deadline coming up very soon here in the NBA, February 6th. So don't miss out on what could be a very busy deadline for the Sixers. Hit that subscribe button because we'll keep you in the know. As for that move that the Sixers have to make with Daryl Morey leading the charge, OKC owns Philadelphia's first-round pick, which is top 6 protected. And you look at the current NBA lottery odds right now, finishing bottom 6 doesn't guarantee a top 6 pick. Right now, if the season were to end, and this is how the lottery balls would fall as far as wins and losses, this is how the current NBA lottery odds would stack up. Washington, Toronto, Utah, New Orleans, Charlotte, Brooklyn, Portland, Philadelphia there at number 8, followed by Chicago, San Antonio, Detroit, Golden State, Phoenix, and Sacramento. Why the Sixers must make this trade? Control your own destiny. Ensure it's not a lost season. You don't need to tank. It also gives you some hope at long-term success. This could also be a potential trade asset. This OKC team is also extremely deep. Do they even need it? OKC has plenty of draft capital on top of a loaded roster, so it's not a big deal to part ways with one pick to bolster the rotation. So, Chip, you put this idea together. I could certainly see where you're coming from, where you're going with it. Explain more why this makes sense and why the Sixers have to do it.
Yeah, look, if you're the Sixers, you just don't want to leave your season up to the NBA lottery. And I know I've seen a lot of Sixers fans saying that the Sixers need to tank. And I agree. I think the Sixers should shift their focus towards, the future past this season rather than trying to compete this year because they're now, 11 games under 500. The season's all but lost. So you need to set your sights now towards this offseason and fixing this roster. But the problem right now for Philly in keeping their pick, again, they have to finish in the top 6 of the draft to keep their pick. Otherwise, it goes to OKC if it's 7 through 30.
Yeah.
But even if the Sixers somehow drop below the Blazers and the Nets, which is still a long shot because those are also teams trying to actively lose who are worse than the Sixers still, even if Philly somehow slides down into the top 6 of the draft, there is no guarantee that that pick ends up being top 6. Because you imagine if the Sixers tank the rest of the year, they lose a bunch of games, end up in the top 6 in the lottery odds, and then the pick falls to number 8. All of a sudden, you tanked for no reason because your pick dropped. Now OKC gets the 8th overall pick, and you have nothing to show for a tanking season. So you got to do what you got to do. I would call up OKC and try to figure out a way for them to give you that pick back so that at the very least, even if you don't end up fully tanking, even if it falls at 8 or 9 or something, at least you get to keep it. At least you have something to show for this season. And, you can trade it if you want. Morey likes to trade it. You can draft a player. It's supposed to be a pretty good draft this year. You just don't want to end up in a situation where, again, you miss the playoffs and you also don't get your first-round pick. So you got to get this pick back. Got to do whatever it takes to get it.
Yeah. Now, coming up next, we're going to continue to have this conversation here because you're probably wondering what the catch is, what the why is. What could it take to get a deal done? We're going to dive into that coming up just around the corner. But first, let's give a shout-out to our sponsor, our friends at Game Time. Sixers have sucked this year, but the Game Time app doesn't suck. And if you want to go to a Sixers game, download the Game Time app. Create an account, use the code CHATSPORTS, CHATSPORTS, for $20 off. Terms apply, first purchase only. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Thanks to Game Time Picks, it's a new feature that makes getting tickets for events even easier. It filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets to find the best value. So you get curated deals that make it easier to find the best price on great seats. The super deal is the best value for that event. You can see the view from your seat before you buy, so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive. On-time ticket delivery, easily resell your tickets, event cancellation protection, job loss protection, and more. Make sure you toggle the all-in pricing tool. It will show you your total up front with no surprise fees at checkout. I also love how you can get that panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy. There's the Game Time lowest price guaranteed, or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference, and the Game Time ticket coverage. Your tickets are guaranteed to be delivered on time, and your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the app, create an account, use the code CHATSPORTS. CHATSPORTS. $20 off. Terms apply. First purchase only. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets. Lowest price guarantee. So what will it take for the Sixers to get this move done that they have to make in our eyes? One of either Kelly Oubre or Guerschon Yabusele will be moved. Yabusele this year, good developmental story for the Sixers. Failed first-round pick with Boston, goes overseas, plays well with France in the Olympics. Sixers signed him to a cheap deal, and it's been a great investment for them. 10 points per game, 5.5 rebounds, almost 51% from the floor, almost 40% from three-point range. He has looked like and developed into a really good player while giving the Sixers team 26 minutes per game. He gives you toughness. He gives you a glue guy. I'd like to see Yabusele with this team for the foreseeable future. But re-signing him is almost impossible for Philadelphia because of these wacky, weird NBA contractual rules. Since Yabusele is on a one-year deal, the Sixers will only have non-bird rights on him. That means the Sixers can offer him only 120% of his previous salary or 120% of the minimum salary, whichever is greater. In 2025-2026, the minimum salary projects to be roughly $2.3 million, so the Sixers could start Yabusele and his next contract at roughly $2.75 million if they use non-bird rights to re-sign him. So what the Sixers could do, if you trade him away, you get value now for him instead of losing him for nothing. And that's kind of the position that the Sixers are in right now. As for Kelly Oubre, sign that 2-year deal. Second year is a team option, and so you get some flexibility here too. This year, Oubre, numbers have started to get a little bit better. Good player for this team last year. This year, been around the same, if not maybe a little bit more disappointing considering you were expecting him to grow off of what he did a year ago. 13.5 points, almost 6 boards, 45.5% from the field. You'll live with that. Under 29% from three. Not great. His contract, you have that player option in 2025-2026 for $8.3 million. 2024-2025, $7.9 million. That's what he's getting paid this season. So Yabusele, Oubre, two versatile players, Chip, who playoff teams could look at as valuable members of their rotation, thus making them trade candidates if the Sixers do decide to sell.
Exactly. And for the Oklahoma City Thunder, like from their perspective, they're not just going to give you this pick for Eric Gordon or for KJ Martin. Yeah. They're going to want someone valuable who can actually help them because, as you said earlier, their roster is so loaded and so deep. Why trade that pick, which could be, you know, a top 10 pick for them if it falls outside the top 6 for salary, for KJ Martin, right? They're going to want someone that can help them, and I think Yabusele can really help them. I think they'd be most interested in him. If not him, then Kelly Oubre. It does suck because, I mean, you said it too. I would love this team to be able to keep Yabusele. He's been so good, such a good story, and he fits so well with what the team wants to do. And that's why, you know, up until now, it's like he's a perfect fit. But if this team isn't going to make the playoffs, he's going to want a lot more than $2.75 million, what the Sixers can offer him. So he's all but gone unless he takes a hometown discount for some reason. I don't know why you would for a team that was so dysfunctional this year. So if he's going to go, get something for him at the very least. And that's what we talk about when we talk on the show about the Sixers being sellers. They can't trade Joel Embiid, at least not yet. He's not eligible to be traded yet. And no one's trading for Paul George in that contract right now. So when we say they're sellers, we mean trading guys like Yabusele and Oubre, who can be free agents this offseason and getting value in return instead of losing them for nothing. And the best value the Sixers can get right now is getting back their own pick so they can have control the rest of the season over their destiny going into next year and at least have something to show for this disgusting season.
It really has been a disgusting season. One of the biggest disappointments in recent Philadelphia sports history with all of the hype going into this year, it wasn't long ago that Chip and I are right here, same place, saying most excited I've been for a Sixers season in a very long time. and they've sucked. And it's been annoying. It's been frustrating. And now I'm just kind of over it. So should the Sixers trade with OKC to keep their pick? Y for yes and for no. As you venture down to the comment section, hit that subscribe button, and we'll catch you later.